Hello and welcome to Quit or Continue, the video games podcast where we poke a finger in the eye of the games that waste your time. I, as ever, am Mike Plant. This is Andy Loughlin.
Hello.
This is Dave Whiteman.
Hello.
And this is Jack Turner.
Hello.
We're here, as we are every time, to tell you what games you want to be getting. What am I even talking about?
I think you'd tend to say that we review games and tell them which one to play. Let's just cut to the chase.
Let us get to Jack. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is the important thing to remember.
Yeah.
This show is broken up into 4 parts. So, part 1, we're going to introduce the game that we're playing, the clues on the table here. Part 2, we're going to talk all about the things that impressed about the game. Part 3, all the crap bits. And part 4, we're going to do our little Jack's Corner segment and then give you our conclusions. So, if you are watching on YouTube because it's broken up into 4 parts, watch the next parts. There you go. There'll be links after the video so you can click through. Is that a good
Part
thing?
5,
So,
Mike's been off work for a week and he's wearing shorts.
Yeah.
So this is going to be chaos.
but Andy has got no shoes on, so that equals all socks.
It's really hot in here.
It is really
for a
hot.
start.
We're all going a bit insane with the heat, I think.
And Jack likes Iron Maiden.
I should point out at this juncture that if you want to listen to all 4 parts in one beautiful whole, as my cat nonchalantly strolls through the living room.
Shall we on video? The first one said that.
This is gold.
We tried to pick up a cat.
We could have been YouTube heroes in one foul swoop there,
Sorry,
but we're not going to
The
be.
internet likes cats and we just failed.
Yeah.
I'll get out my massive net.
Anti-cat. Welcome to Quit or Continue, the podcast that cats do not like.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, so if you want to listen to the podcast, all 4 parts in one beautiful whole, then you can do that on our just Google Quit or Continue podcast and you'll find it. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/quit or continue games. Right, should we just dive into it? I feel this is the worst intro we've ever done.
That was the terms and conditions at the end of a phoning competition. Do not phone in afterwards.
Yeah, we got through, everything's fine. So this week we are doing the Wolfenstein, the new order.
So this was our...
No, we didn't.
No.
Oh, God!
This is what happens when he has a holiday. So, Wolfenstein: The New Order was our first ever podcast game that we did.
We've come a long way since then.
We've come a long way.
Episode 13, chaps.
Episode 13, unlucky for some, but hopefully, well, from the start of it, it's fairly unlucky for us as well. But the new blood, the old blood, oh God! The old blood.
Let's just refer to it as Wolfenstein.
This thing right here, it's kind of DLC, but it's also a box. Obviously, you can see it's a box game, so it's not really a standalone game, but there's enough there, and it's quite cheap. It's about 15.
Yeah,
It's
about
cheap.
12.
I would say I don't believe it's DLC at all.
It's like an expansion pack from
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
days.
I think it was originally
Oh, the
conceived as
old
DLC, but they've done that
Yeah.
whole thing where a bit like Infamous Second Son had the first
it?
light, and
Yeah,
then that
that's
became
exactly
like a stand on its own.
Yeah.
So this is Machine Games.
Yep, same chaps who made the
Bethesda
first one.
studio who rebooted the long-running Wolfenstein property with a kind of newish look, but it's from our first watch the first podcast, the first game, but it's kind of a funny new but very old game. It's a bit of an old school shooter, isn't it? And I think that's why a lot of people have really gone quite crazy for it, really, because it is quite distinct compared to other shooters. For good and also for bad in a lot of ways. Actually, for very bad in some design areas. But this is it. It's about £12. It's a standalone story to a certain extent, although it does reference the other game, and it is a good way if you want to play this one first and go to that one, or you want to go vice versa.
It's a precursor, basically,
it's a good journey.
To the last game in there. It's a really hard way to explain it, isn't it? But anyway, this operates as a precursor to the full price version game, basically.
And you play BJ Blazkowicz. Who looks like a side of ham. And has for some
Bruised
reason
ham.
be sent on a stealth mission into Germany, even though he doesn't speak any German. And he's not exactly inconspicuous.
And also, he's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah, for most of the game, he wears no top.
Do you know what, that was my favourite bit. That was the bit.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Well, yeah. It was the funniest bit because I saw all the funny bits in the trailer. I felt all the classic one-liners were in the trailer, but that wasn't when you first see BJ and he's there with the top off. And I thought that's so funny to just think back of everything you've been doing. I mean, obviously not walking through the whole like German. Obviously, I'd imagine he had his top on then.
Sure.
Sure. But yeah, so I thought that is actually quite a funny joke. Well done. Well done.
I mean,
Does he out in the original Wolfenstein? Does the character have no top on in that? Is that like what it's playing a little?
God, that would have required some research.
Yeah.
Well, you never. Hang on, I'm just trying to think. I think he does because
I've got my iPad. I will check.
I'm just on like the loading screen or the title screen. I remember him hiding around the corner. I'm sure he's got a shirt on.
No, yeah, he has. Yeah, he's definitely.
There's no
to reach
need
back
for
on that.
him not to have a shirt on. I mean, there's no need for him to go into this mission. I mean, I don't know why he's been recruited. If there's a job ad, he would fail on every single level.
No, at the very start, in fairness, he does have a top at the very, very, very start of the game, I think, but it's because he gets abducted. No spoilers really, because it happens right at the start of the game. He gets imprisoned, doesn't he? So I think he loses his top at that point.
Are we really debating whether he's got a top?
Is that
No, look, Wolfenstein 3D. No one will be able to see this from over here, but I guarantee you,
Oh, he hasn't got a top on.
he has no top on. He's topless.
Yeah.
That is,
I swear,
and he looks like a side of ham.
I swear,
He's buff.
There you go,
I swear
Jack.
on the title screen, he's
Our
definitely...
beloved audience.
on the title screen, he's
Check him
definitely
out.
wearing a shirt. I'll put money on it.
So
Anyway, not that matters.
this is before events in the New Order. The idea is that you're heading into Castle Wolfenstein, which is quite a picturesque castle.
Yeah, it's not a very discreet building. Is
No.
it? It's like-
I think if you looked at
it's basically like the Hoover Dam that's been designed like a building.
What goes on
Is
there?
it like a real place in, I don't know, is there a building it's based on? do you
Modelled
think?
on. There's a few castles. I mean, it looks. A bit
It looks
cold.
too like it looks like it'd be impossible to build.
No, there are
enormous. It's
castles on actual hills in like like.
But it isn't
they're
just
all-
a castle on a hill. It's like it's carved into the mountain.
It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
But it's probably like a hodgepodge of all this stuff. I mean, like the
You
one
need to
with
get a
the.
ski lift to get in there.
It's
It's the most inaccessible castle.
It's a blooming Nazi military castle. They're not going to build it next to an airport.
I'll tell you what.
They only needed a moat
You
and a
should,
dragon.
you should see the reviews on TripAdvisor. They are, for access, it gets 1 star.
Yeah.
If you're disabled, forget about it.
Exactly.
First of all, there's Hitler,
Yeah.
and then there's a ski lift.
Ski lift, and everyone kept shooting at me with bazookas.
The receptionist was most surly. 1 star, won't go again. But I don't think BJ Blazkowicz is aware of the concept of the internet for a start. He's a little bit simple.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have it in 1940s.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
He's definitely not on TripAdvisor, that's for sure.
He's definitely not a TripAdvisor. But also he is a little bit simple.
Look who's come crawling back.
Hey.
Look
has
at that,
tamed
the
a cat.
chosen one.
Our podcast listeners, I'm stroking a cat.
This cat could be an internet sensation. It could be,
Hey. This is Inky.
This is Inky, the
Indifferent
black
cat.
cat. There you go, fame at last,
There you
Inky.
go.
Never let a black cat cross your path.
What about that one sitting on your lap?
Inky,
Oh,
what
everyone's
did you
saying
think of the old
BJ
bloke?
Blazkowicz's top.
Yeah.
Or lack of.
Yeah, you thought it was crap. Oh, well.
We'll see.
Oh, there you go, that was the end of
No
that.
judgment here, Inky.
We should
Come
point
on.
out that they're, it's like a weird, it's not the real past. So
No.
they have access to technology that we never had access to. So, for example,
Yeah.
they have giant robot dogs wandering
So
around the place like nothing.
Yeah, this is not a spoiler, but the idea of Wolfenstein, this Wolfenstein generation, is that the Nazis win the war, effectively, isn't it? They win the war. They're all that kind of like the stuff you've seen with the supernatural bits and pieces, the kind of occult stuff. It builds them this sort of great big power, and you've got all these people building super soldiers and weird monsters, and stuff like that.
Mutant things,
And
spliced together Frankensteins.
And if for anybody who's
Monsters.
played the new game or seen it advertised, the idea of the mission is that you're heading to Castle Wolfenstein, and you're looking for the location of Death's Head, which is the bad guy in New Blood, who basically is the kind of overarching bad guy there. But this file apparently will tell you where he is. Again, Google Maps doesn't exist. That would have been easy, wouldn't it? Because he would have put a tag in it. Oh, look, Death's Head compound. Oh, nice one. Oh, forget that. There we go. But that doesn't exist. So he's going to go and find Helga, who's apparently got a file of where Death's Head living. He's got a
And he's
bungalow
got
somewhere.
a mate. At that moment in the game, he has a buddy with him who's going to come
Yeah.
in and they're going to infiltrate.
and they're living together. It's a little bit unsure what the circumstances are, but yeah, he's put living together on the electoral roll. So.
It's complicated.
So I think we should. Yeah, it's a shooter. It's basically you've got double guns. It's a lot of run. It's a bit of stealth. It's a lot of action. Let's
No
face it.
multiplayer. Bring back that.
No
a bit.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's about what we say about 6 7 hours.
Yeah, unless
You
you're
really stretch
really,
it.
unless you're really shit hot. I did it in like half an hour.
Ugh.
Easy.
And a lot of robots to fight and actual
Yeah.
boss fights to fight, I guess.
If you like
Yeah.
fighting a lot of stuff, this game is going to be.
Can I just say, I got to the end of this game, last chapter of this game, and I think I played it for 4.5 hours.
Wow.
Does it say
By
final
the
chapter
end of
at the
it,
end? 'Cause
I
I didn't
played it
actually
for
get to
6.5
that.
hours. That will give you some indication of how
How bad you are.
how troubled I found that
Yeah.
last chapter.
We will get onto it later, but the last boss is challenging.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll
But
hold back.
I think that's probably what is it. Shall we move on to the good bits?
Well, yes, we can do. Let us take. This is part 1. Is that part 1?
That is part 1.
Is there
So part 1 is
nothing
all
else
about.
nothing else to add?
I was going to talk about Hitler, but we can talk
Well,
about that.
let's talk about that then.
So
That's
in
Let's talk about Hitler.
let's
Let's
have a
fine. Let's have a little
Friday
weekend,
night,
Mike.
we've got our thing. Let's chat about
Come
Hitler.
on, lads.
Hitler chat.
Hitler bloke.
0894.
We'll be getting the wrong followers on YouTube pretty quickly.
Yeah, 0800 actor. It's Hitler chat.
I believe you mean in reference to the fact that he's not really in it.
I'd like
Yeah,
to meet Hitler's
so-
in my area.
So in the first game, there was no mention of Hitler, was there?
And we were really annoyed at
This is a
it.
game.
Yeah,
This is a
we're
game
all
set in after
annoyed.
the Second World War.
Mm.
Nazis everywhere.
Where Germany have actually won.
They've won. You'd think he'd be like up for a sort of Star Award or something. There's no mention of him at all.
Oh my god, yeah, definitely.
Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize.
I think we'd be doing the old.
No one's got his poster on the wall or anything like that.
No.
And so this game is a prequel. And I thought, well, okay, so Hitler's bound to be in this one.
Is it a year after as well? It's 1946, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 46.
Yeah, you would have thought he'd see him around a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he always pops in the office, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just checking in.
Just checking in.
Hi guys, how's the project going?
But again, there's no mention of him at all, and it's weird because these are definitely Nazis. There's
Yeah.
swastikas everywhere, isn't there?
SS
I've got to
a lot
give
as
the
well.
Yeah.
game credit for that actually.
Well, the swastikas.
The swastikas, yeah.
At last, a game
Yeah.
we
Not
all
again,
enjoy.
Dave.
Finally, it's like going to visit my nan. Because in the New Order, I felt it was lacking on
Lacking
just
in swastikas.
general Nazi memorabilia. I felt like there wasn't.
Can we cut this?
Why did we do
dear
this
Lord.
game again?
No, honestly, I
It
felt
brings out
that
in
same thing because I thought like, oh well,
We're through the looking glass and we've smashed it on the way out.
No, but I thought the New Order, it felt like you could have been any old shooter. It didn't feel like it was.
Well, apart from
Aim.
all the Nazis.
No, but were they? But I remember thinking to myself, they weren't particularly Nazi.
They do speak German.
They weren't wearing anything that made you think,
Yeah.
I'm shooting some Nazis right here.
I can't
It felt like it
remember.
was very much censored from Nazis. Yeah, no, this I can't remember too much. I remember
Everyone
thinking
seems
that
to wear
time.
like SS tags and stuff on this one. It's definitely
Yeah.
there's a lot more about that whole.
But that's
like,
exactly it, because it felt a bit more authentic. I think is the,
Yeah.
the thing I'm going for.
authentic
rather than-
Nazis.
Yeah, and then like when
It's
you
my
are
favourite
doing the
pizza.
whole Castle Wolfenstein, it does.
Authentic Nazi.
Genuine original.
I'll tell you who else wasn't in the New Order. Peter Hook or Bernard Sumner. Yeah, although they've fallen out, so it's not surprising.
They always do.
But yeah, there's no Hitler in this game. So if you are kind of person a bit
I
like
did
us,
spend a bit of
who,
time looking at the walls as well, the paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
No.
Oh no, God, yeah, you did.
I spent a lot of time looking at the walls. Look at the masonry work
I was
here. It's appalling.
I was genuinely thinking, here we go, because I wanted to show you guys. Here you go, here's some Hitler. But it wasn't. I couldn't find
No,
anything.
only when you go to sleep in the bunks and you go to the because it's got
Yeah.
like this weird version of 3D like Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it doesn't really work very well because it's in the new engine,
yeah,
but it's old.
Yeah,
But,
we should come to that.
but no, I mean like in that you'll see Hitler on the walls.
I just want to make a note for Jack.
Yeah.
No, for
multiple toilets.
Oh,
none of them
God, yeah.
flushable. None of them flushable.
No, I counted 4 separate toilet models in this game.
Which is great. I mean, on paper, wow, this is Jack's game, isn't it?
Yeah.
But were there any of them flushable?
No.
No.
None
And
of them
BJ
flushable.
strikes me as the kind of guy who wants a flushable toilet in his game. He would
Yes.
use some memorable in the style of Jim
Yeah.
Neacon.
He looks like the kind of guy who poos naked.
But he's not got a top on anyway, that's not a stretch.
Whips and trousers on. They've got Velcro on the side.
Alright.
Go to the toilet.
Is that it for part one? We've
I
talked
think
about
so,
toilets.
yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
that's it. We've stretched it too
I
far.
don't think anybody's watching anymore.
Cool. Right. Part one is over, and we'll be right back with part two, where we'll talk about all the good bits of Continue.
There are many.
Of how great we've been.
We'll talk about all the good bits of Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Bye.
I'd like the idea of the second video being a highlights package of this video.
Really short. 10 seconds. Wow, that was longer than I thought it was going to be.